I can guarantee that you're currently blowing some of my listeners and viewers' minds right now, because one of my main
Yes.
interests is jealousy and helping people overcome jealousy. And I like to point to polyamorous communities as an example when I'm trying to prove the point that jealousy isn't an inherent quality of being human, that, it's not built into us. It's not insurmountable necessarily. And, there's lots of examples of people who have successfully overcome it. And in some circumstances that an outsider looking at that would say, good Lord, I'd be so jealous and I don't know how I'd overcome that. Maybe you could talk a little bit about jealousy in the context of polyamory.
I would say that jealousy is something that is human. So there I'm going to kind of disagree with you. I would say that a lot of people do experience jealousy within polyamory, but ironically, the research says that people are way more jealous when you measure levels of jealousy, self-reported levels of jealousy from people in monogamous relationships and polyamorous relationships. The monogamous people measure much higher on jealousy because they're not supposed to be attracted to other people. They're not supposed to think about other people. So it's much more threatening. Whereas the polyamorous people do experience it, but they've got all sorts of ways to deal with it, especially talking about it directly. I would say in the first 2 waves of data collection, or even the first 3, which would be about 15, 20-ish years, there were at least 4 people who told me that they had never experienced jealousy. They did not understand the emotion, like it didn't land with them. Jealousy wasn't real in their universe somehow. 4 people. And then in the 4th round of data collection, which is the one I'm still working on right now, 3 of those 4 said that they had experienced jealousy. And for all 3 of them, it was kind of this perfect storm of something going wrong with themselves. Like one person lost their job and gained some weight and was just kind of depressed. For another person, their long-term other sweetie broke up with them and they were feeling really missing that person. And for another person, I think she had a baby and she was like, who am I now? I'm a mom too, but I'm also all these other things. And how do I fit that in together? So all 3 of them were having kind of a crisis of their own. And then while that was happening, their most beloved partner hooks up with someone new who is exciting in some way that they are not. And they experience jealousy for the first time. And one of them was like, oh my goodness, I have so much more kind of compassion for my partners who have expressed jealousy to me because it sucks. That emotion is so painful. I had no idea. And now I feel so bad that I was kind of an ass to them about them and their jealousy. So that has given me this idea that people have jealousy nodes, kind of. And some people have a whole bunch of jealousy nodes, and some people only have a few. And some people's jealousy nodes get activated by all sorts of things, and other people, their jealousy nodes really hardly have any activators. And it has to be that kind of perfect storm of feeling bad about themselves somehow and someone new coming into their beloved's life at the same time.
That's an interesting way to frame it. Jealousy nodes. I might steal that. I'll give you credit, but that's really interesting. I've never looked at it like that. Yeah, because you do meet people with next to no jealousy nodes, as you put it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, like when I was framing the question, I think of, like, you look at hunter-gatherer societies and the next to no levels of jealousy in many of the societies, and yeah, which leads me to think that it's more social than it's often given credit for, jealousy in general. But yeah, it's still something I'm working out. But that's I really like the way you framed that. But
I think it's also a lack of resources or figuring out how to share scarce resources. Like there's only 24 hours in a day, and no matter how much your partner says, I love you, I love you, I love you, if you don't get to see them for 2 months, then that might activate your jealousy nodes, especially if they're seeing someone else a whole bunch. So not that that's only socially constructed, which I absolutely do think, especially romantic jealousy is very socially constructed. But that kind of feeling of, I don't want to lose my resources, like fine, see other people, whatever, but don't take time away from me. I think it's
interesting.
Perhaps hardwired.
Interesting. To be continued.
But how you deal with it is not.
Yes.
Whether you say, I'm feeling jealous, so you have to stop, or I'm feeling jealous, can you give me some reassurance? Can you make sure to hang out with me on my birthday?
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Humans in Love. If you'd like to learn more about my guests, my work, or you'd like to listen to back episodes of the podcast, please visit humansinlove.com. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Humans in Love using your podcast app of choice. If you're a fan of Humans in Love, and you'd like to help keep the show going and help me spread the word, please take 30 seconds out of your day to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcast app of choice. Before I let you go, remember that life is short, so let's make it count. And thank you, as always, for your listenership and support. I'll talk to you again very soon.